some background on how long you've been working here and when you first came here and what sort of school that area was used to be when you began working here and what years?
Well, I started working here at the school in 1960, and I am a transfer from Sandia Day School. I worked at Sandia for 10 years, and because I really didn't know what my job was going to be until I got here. And after getting in to the job, I found it very interesting working with the older students, which were juniors and seniors mostly. I've worked with them, and I found it very interesting. At the time when I first came in, discipline was very important. I mean, we had discipline where we could, we were sort of given the authority to counsel our students, our girls. We worked in different areas. We had the smaller students on the first floor, which were two large dormitories or porches, and I believe we had about 330 or 20 some students, girls, in that one dormitory, which was called Nokomis Hall at the time. And the girls had their own chores as doing their detail every morning and night. It was sort of strict. In a way, it was nice because we knew where all our girls were. Our girls just didn't leave the campus, that they had to sign in, tell where they were going. When they got back, they signed in the hour that they came in. We knew more or less where our girls were at all times. And our detail was, the girls were so good that I could say you could eat right on the floor where, they cleaned. The girls really knew how to clean. And I think this is lacking today, because our girls do not know how to clean. And this is one reason why our dormitories are so run down. And vandalism we didn't have at the time. Well, maybe a few, but we didn't notice so much of that. Behavior was very, very good, I would say. We very seldom saw our girls drinking, and if we did, well, it was really something, because we didn't see it too often. And we also had detail in the dining room, which helped quite a bit for our students to learn all different type of work than the dormitory. And our students were anxious to get back to their dormitories and get their area clean, which we had to because only the upper grade had room. And we got everybody out of the building by 8 o'clock. And we had, I would say that dormitory had so many doors, but we had no problem getting girls in at all hours, when they should be in class. And the only students that were in the building were if they were on the home, being sick or not feeling good. Those were the only students that were in the dormitory at the time. Other than that, we didn't have anybody in the dormitory.
What year was that that you're teaching?
This was started in 1960 on to, I would say, for about 6 years, I guess. Maybe a little longer. Well, within the past, I would say 8 years, we sort of ran down on our discipline. We don't have what you would say, really say discipline, because, well, our girls don't really do any detail. We have detail, but they will not do detail. And this is part of, it hurts the girls because I myself was assigned to place girls out on Saturday to do, place them on Saturday jobs, which they could earn their own money. And, but I'm sorry to say, I even hate to put out a girl now, which I know can't do the work. And it's kind of sad because the girls could be earning their, spending money, and they could depend on that for little things, cosmetics and whatever.
So this because he was practicing the listening, or was it simply the PRA policy in reducing discipline?
Well, I don't know. Our discipline was just sort of not, well, it really wasn't enforced. It's not enforced at all. To my opinion, it's not enforced. Of course, it's like they say, it was in writing, but it wasn't enforced. And we tried, the dormitory aides tried. We tried to abide by their rules, but when it came time to really get down to it, well, it wasn't enforced by the administrators. And I think this is where it really down. It is not enforced.
How about when these present dormitories were constructed, were they up in the system?
They were, when I first came, yes, that was the first, I believe they were constructed in 1959, I believe. I'm not sure. They were already here when I came in August of 60. And I believe they were just a year old then, in September. So that's how long they've been here.
Okay, could you tell us what your duties as instructional aide include?
Well, I supervise the girls. Like I say, I have worked mostly with upper grades, juniors and seniors. And my duties are see that they are cared for, taught discipline, and to do their chores in their rooms, their safety, and, well, supervision of this all taught. And if they have problems, I take time to listen to their problems. And of course we have quite a bit of fighting, and you see that they don't get hurt. And of course they're drinking. We try to talk to the girls and tell them what would happen, or whatever the danger of drinking and drugs and all of that type of thing.
Okay, well, since AIPC is planning in the next 2 years to assume control over the dormitories and not only administration, and you've been here so long, do you expect any sort of changes to come since AIPC or identity concerned?
Well, it's sort of early to tell, but I really hope there will be some change. I really feel that it should be, or there should be some changes. I mean, for the students' sake, after all, that's what we're here for, you know. Care for them and see that they have the schooling they are supposed to really have, which I know they haven't had. And if this is what they're taking over for, I think they should look into it and be firm and keep them in school. This is what we really see right now. They're sort of going back to the same pattern they knew, you know, in the past. Staying out and out of class and missing paychecks. The chores around the dorm, the detail, they're slacking up on that. But we have constantly remind them that there's a little for them to do, and it's not too much for them to do. They have certain areas, and they don't do that all the time because we rotate the girls around, say about 3 weeks at a time, and we change around so they won't have the same detail all the time. And they don't only work here, but we have crafts too, you know. We have material for the girls to make, like shawls, they've been making shawls, and not really textile work, but they have had paint to do on the material. And we had gone into basket, which like my supervisor hasn't had all the materials she would like to have for craft. This is what we kind of lack yet.
If you could make some immediate changes within your power, what sort of things would you do?
Well, what would I do? I would recommend that, like having more discipline. I think that goes with academics, and I think getting enough rest and sleep, our girls will get up and go to school. This is what they didn't have because, well, if our girls got in late at night, naturally they won't want to get up. They didn't want to get up. And this was some of the problems we really ran into.
How about conditions of the building?
Oh my goodness. The condition of the building is not. We as aides we all work very hard to keep the dormitories up so the students will enjoy the place, know that they do have a nice place. We really work. I mean, all summer long we've washed walls, we've washed here, we've manned here, we've manned there. Well, you could just about say we're a jack of all trades. We do a little plumbing here, painting there, repair here, sewing. We just about do everything. So,
are there any other types of activities for students to do besides arts and crafts? You plan dances, parties, anything?
Well, we do put up little parties, you know, for a group. Like say one wing. I tried last year. I tried hard to kind of keep the girls together. I myself would cook at home, you know, make bread or whatever, chili. That's what I know the girls need at home, you know, but they don't get here. And it's nice if we can have all that too. If we had a big kitchenette, we had the surprise, there'd be no problem in doing cooking and having a little party. Christmas, one year I tried, we my dormitory, the seniors, we all keep doing well. Of course, I couldn't expect too much from the girls. They drew names, and we didn't try to buy anything that was too expensive, just enough to have a party in the Christmas party. And we had it in the living room, one area that they were giving us to have a party. We had a record and we danced and the girls enjoyed it. So, like I said, and then we had, I don't believe the girls should leave the dorm during the week to go to movies. I might be wrong, but there is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to do that. And during the week, well, they have their cleaning, their studies that they can do in the dormitory. There's a lot for them to do in the dormitory during the week, besides, running around, going out. And I know when they're out, well, you never know what might happen to them. We're constantly worried about them because if 12 o'clock comes, well, the girl is not in, well, our supervisor really gets concerned about them, especially when we don't know where they're at. He is very concerned about our girls. And she's one that is very calm. She's very patient with the girls. She is very patient. And I know the girls like her very much as a supervisor. She's one that you can go up and talk to. She's that type of a person.
If a student has a problem, either, academic or social, how do you deal with it?
Well, we just don't go up and approach the girl if we know she's got a problem. We let her, if she feels free to come to us, all right, we just leave, drop what we're doing, and talk to the girl. First, we ask her if she wants to go see her counselor. If she doesn't want to see her counselor, if she really talk to one of the aides, fine. Then we refer her to the aide or whoever she wants to take her problems to. And for me, I'll go up and down the dorm and I get right in them. I chase around here with the girls. I play with them, and before bed check or after bed check, if the girl has a problem, I'll go out in the hallway and sit with her, sit on the floor and just talk to her, and see what her problems are. If I can help her, fine. Well, if I can't, well, I refer her to my supervisor, and if she can't, well, she goes up to her.
Has being away from home upset them a great deal?
I don't know. Some, I guess, yes. But the majority of them don't want to go home. Weekend comes, they don't want to go home. And yet, they don't want to stay in the school. I don't think so. I think they really don't want to go home. I don't know. Well, a lot of our girls' folders were not in the dorm last year, so they took them away from the dorm, and therefore we didn't know their background. We didn't know their problems, We sort of go back to their folders and see, well, let's see what's her problem or what's her background at home. And if you know that, well, you sort of can work from there. But if we don't, well, we just sort of guess, and we just didn't have that privilege to go into their folders last time.
You know why?
I don't know why. We used to have them in the dorm, and then just all of a sudden they pulled them out and took them out and got them away from the dorm, which I hope we will have them. This way, when we have our folder, we have their records. If a girl is missing, we call the police on them for being missing. This way we know their age, their home address, and their parents' name, how old the student is. But we sort of ran into that problem because we didn't know their age or, and we sort of had to guess.
How about discipline? What type of discipline do you use, and for what reason is the girl disciplined?
Well, discipline if the girl is getting off hand. Well, like we have a problem of girls not wanting to go to class. This was a big problem, and it just to me, in the past, if a girl was late, she sort of had to come back to the building or had study hour, and then would come back to the building and maybe she'd have a tour of doing a little, not a big thing, but knowing that she had missed class and she should make up that during the study hour. And in the building, well, discipline is we have younger students, they all live under this one roof, and it's sort of hard when you have a younger student with an older one. Well, there isn't too much you can do. And I have worked in another dormitory where we had the younger students, younger girls. In fact, we had both in the dorm, both boys and girls. And I really like working with them because they were small and you could, really discipline them. And it was kind of a job because you had to clean them, wash their clothes, iron their clothes, get them up. And some of the little girls, we comb their hair, and just like a mother would do at home and send her to school. And we did the same thing for the boys. We picked up the clothes at night. We had the boys put their dirty clothes foot of the bed. We'd pick them up and we'd wash them at night, and the night lady would iron them, and they'd be all ready for the next day. Well, some of our young girls want to be big girls today, and they don't want, the instructional aide to come in and say, well, let me have your dirty clothes, I'll wash them. They do their own washing. And of course, they're not all that small, but still we sort of look at them as our little girls. And if we had a dormitory with nothing but smaller girls, I think that would be the ideal thing. And then that way we'd know, how to cope with them more.
Have most of the dormitory aides been here quite a few years?
Yes, we have about 5, I believe, that have been here quite a while, coming back from Nakoma's time up until now.
Are dormitory instructional aides expected to have any sort of background in counseling?
We did in the past, yes, but like I said, this was sort of taken away from us the past years. We did our own counseling. Like I said, if we can't do it, well, it was supervisor and then the department head. And if it didn't work, well, we went further up. But usually, the instructional aide did quite a bit of counseling. And It worked. It really worked.
That's all the questions I have, unless you have something else that you'd like to add.
No, I just enjoyed my work, and hopefully I'm kind of looking forward to retiring now. I talked to my children about hopefully in October.
Of this year?
No, not this year. A year from October.
Okay, we're going to have to hold again for another 10 seconds.